Am I the a-hole for leaving my ex and her daughter after discovering she isn't mine? I, 28 male, have a 5-year-old daughter, Lily, with my ex-girlfriend, Sarah, 27 female. At least, I thought she was my daughter. Sarah and I dated for a few years, and then she got pregnant. I was over the moon. I was excited to be a dad and took on the role wholeheartedly. From the moment Lily was born, I noticed she didn't really look like me, but I brushed it off. Babies change a lot, right? As she grew older, though, the differences became more pronounced. She had none of my features, none at all. It started to nag at me, but I pushed those thoughts aside, feeling guilty for even questioning it. A few months ago, I finally gave in to the doubt that had been gnawing at me. I ordered a paternity test without telling Sarah. When the results came back, my heart sank. I wasn't Lily's biological father. I felt like my world had been turned upside down. I confronted Sarah, and after a lot of tears and arguing, she admitted that she'd cheated on me around the time Lily was conceived. I was devastated. The little girl I'd raised and loved wasn't mine. I felt like my entire relationship with Sarah was a lie. I couldn't look at Lily the same way, knowing that her biological father was out there somewhere. I decided to leave. I picked my things and moved out, leaving Sarah and Lily behind. Since then, Sarah, her friends, and even some of my own family have been calling me an asshole for abandoning Lily. They say that biology doesn't matter, that I raised her and she sees me as her father. They accuse me of being heartless and cruel for walking away from a little girl who loves me. I get messages and calls almost daily, calling me out for my decision. It's been tough. I feel guilty because I know Lily doesn't understand why I'm not around anymore, but at the same time, I can't shake the feeling of betrayal and the constant reminder that she isn't mine. I don't know how to be there for her without feeling like a fraud. I didn't sign up to raise another man's child, especially without my knowledge. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for leaving? Should I have stayed in Lily's life despite everything, or was I right to walk away? Edit. I have a lawyer working on getting me out of the birth certificate. Not the a-hole, OP. You were deceived about something that would have changed your choice from day one. Leaving the relationship is reasonable. That doesn't make you heartless. It puts the responsibility where it belongs, on the adult who lied. There are two different relationships here. Sarah, who broke your trust, and Lily, who didn't do anything wrong. You don't owe Sarah another minute. With Lily, it's okay if you can't keep being dad after this, but it's also worth thinking about how to step back in a way that doesn't leave a 5-year-old confused and blaming herself. A short, planned goodbye with a simple explanation guided by a child therapist, I won't be living here anymore, but you're loved and none of this is your fault, could make a big difference for her. On the practical side, talk to a family lawyer right away about disestablishing paternity if you're on the birth certificate or signed anything. In some places there are deadlines, and you want clarity so this doesn't drag on. Keep communication with Sarah brief and civil, and let friends or relatives know you're following legal advice and won't discuss it further. Now some comments. People adopt kids all the time and manage to love them despite not being biologically related to them. I find it hard to believe you didn't love this girl at all and feel no obligation to her after 5 years as her father. You're definitely the asshole here. Your wife lied to you and you feel betrayed. Fine. Break up with her if that's what you need to do. But that little girl did nothing to you, has done nothing to deserve what you're doing to her. Then again, if you care so little for her and are so willing to punish her for her mother's sins, then she's probably ultimately better off without you in her life. So from that angle, maybe you're the hero of this story. As a dad of children that aren't mine, but have raised since they were little, stepchildren, I'm having a hard time not calling you an asshole. Think about it. This little girl knows you are her dad. She doesn't believe it. She's not been told it. You are it. You are dad. You're the dad she's known from birth, from a time where she doesn't remember. You are her dad. You may not be her bio father, but you are her dad. And you just abandon her like that? To me, that's fucked up. Now, on the other side of it, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. You were cheated on, betrayed, lied to, and hurt. You want nothing to do with your ex. You want to be left alone and to rebuild and carry on with your life and not be responsible for a child that isn't yours. I honestly cannot fault you for that. I'm going to withhold judgment because, for me, you're both an asshole and not an asshole at the same time. This is a tough one. I can understand leaving Sarah, but personally, if I raised a child, I would struggle leaving him. I absolutely wouldn't pay child support to that cheating bitch, but cutting off the kid who did nothing wrong seems harsh to me. I'm not saying you're the a-hole, but maybe your love for the kid was more conditional than it should have been. And that just is what it is. Not everyone can look past these things. Story 2. Am I the asshole for not paying my girlfriend's books? I'm a 29 male. My girlfriend is 23 female. She's a full-time student who splits her time between a campus internship and weekend cafe shifts. She lives in a shared off-campus apartment, so her recurring bills are mostly a transit pass, groceries, her phone, and chipping away at a credit card. She also travels pretty regularly for club events and to visit extended family, and she likes to get new outfits or salon stuff before those trips. I graduated last spring, and I'm in year 1 of running my own small LLC. I'm not broke, but most of what comes in goes straight back into the business or toward renovating the house I was given a couple years ago. I try to be generous without being reckless. I plan dates, have covered a few mini getaways, and I get her gifts for holidays because I like seeing her happy. 5 weeks ago, she cracked her phone screen and spent about $230 getting it fixed. Around the same time, she said she needed new books for college and said she'd need $485. She didn't pay it then. This morning, she texted saying her course starts next week and she can't register until the books are paid for, and asked if I could send the $485 right now. I told her I couldn't do it today and suggested a couple options. Use a small, short-term loan and pay it off next paycheck, borrow from her parents, or use her credit card. She pushed back that loans take time and she needs to enroll today. When I asked her where her last paycheck went, she said part went to the phone repair and the rest covered groceries, a few takeout meals, and clothes for an upcoming trip. She has some savings but doesn't want to touch it because she's trying to knock down her card balance faster. Meanwhile, I've taken a few hits. An HVAC service call that turned into a $700 repair, a $350 dental copay, and my quarterly taxes just drafted. So extra money isn't exactly lying around. I told her I wasn't comfortable sending $485 on the spot when she knew of this for over a month, and there were ways to budget for it. For example, not buying new clothes. She didn't like my reply and said that where she comes from, guys are expected to take care of things, and this was an opportunity to show I can provide. It isn't really about the $485. If she'd said, hey, the phone repair wiped me out, can you float me and I'll pay you back on X date? I probably would have done it. What's getting to me is the irresponsibility. A known academic expense sits for weeks while money goes to non-essentials. And then it becomes a same-day emergency that I'm supposed to pick to prove I'm a provider. So I told her no. She's upset and says I'm being unsupportive and dismissive of her future. I feel like I'm drawing a reasonable boundary and asking for some basic accountability. Am I the a-hole for saying no? Bro, you're fine saying no. She knew about the fee for weeks and chose clothes and takeout first. What did she think? That the payment was going to be paid by itself? Keep it simple. I'm not paying it today. Happy to help you make a plan. If that's a deal breaker for her, that's good info about compatibility. Protect your wallet and your peace.